Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm James and this is Clearwater Fishing, and today we're talking about boat buying decisions. Now we're not talking about the decisions of when you go look at a boat, what you need to look for. We're talking about the decisions that you need to make before you start even looking at boats, like budget, storage, what am I going to use it for, how many times am I going to use it, those type of questions and decisions that you need to make. So the first two pieces here kind of go hand in hand. What are you going to be using your boat for, and how much are you willing to spend on doing that? If you're only going to use your boat 5 times a year, you're probably not going to want to spend as much on your boat. If you're going to use your boat to make a living, whether you're doing fishing guide work or maybe boat rentals, you may want to spend a few extra bucks to make sure your equipment is in top shape and ready to perform when you're ready to make money. So for me, that's a really good question. I do want to make a living with my boat, but I'm not going to be doing fishing guide work. I'm going to be continuing to make YouTube videos like this for you guys, whether it's on this boat or another boat, using fishing electronics. All that stuff is kind of required by what I want to be doing with it. So I'm going to want to spend a little more money than most people will. My budget is going to be somewhere in the $50,000 to $60,000 range because I'm going to want a newer boat, a larger boat, a boat that I can do all those things on, film all the stuff that requires for that, extra battery storage, extra storage for camera gear, all that comes along with a bigger boat. So I've already kind of done my thinking behind this. Something else you probably need to consider at this point in time is, are you willing to take a loan or not take a loan? My opinion is if you have the ability to save up for a purchase like this, you should probably save up for it. You'll feel like you earned it instead of just going out and getting a loan and then having that monthly payment. That's just my personal opinion. Y'all are free to do whatever you want. So once you decide kind of what you want to do with your boat and the budget that you have to support that, it's kind of time to think about the type of boat that you're going to be buying. If you're going to do a little bit of fishing and then you're going to want to do some tubing, some kneeboarding, wakeboarding, that kind of stuff, you're probably going to want a fish and ski boat. But if you're more like me, all you do is fishing, you're probably going to want some kind of bass boat. So some other things you need to take into consideration in the bass boat world for sure is whether or not you want aluminum or you want fiberglass. I have an aluminum boat, and I can tell you right now, the wind blows me around a lot, especially up here in the windy Texas panhandle. So I'm going to go with a heavier fiberglass boat. So I'm going to be buying a pretty hefty, large fiberglass bass boat. That also brings up size. What size of boat do you want, or what size of boat do you need? Do you have a really big family that you're going to be taking out to the lake? Or is it just going to be you out on a lake most of the time, and then a few times you're going to have a buddy or two with you? Might determine whether or not you need a smaller boat or a larger boat. For me, I like to carry friends with me to go fishing, and I also have camera gear and that kind of stuff to deal with. So I really need a larger boat. And the days that I want to go fishing sometimes are limited by how windy it is. So if I have a bigger, heftier boat, I'll feel a lot safer out there on the water. Hey guys, I know we're right in the middle of this video, but I like to call time out and ask you guys to subscribe to the channel. I do all sorts of fishing related content, anywhere from how-tos to prop comparisons to installation videos, all that kind of stuff I do on this channel. I promise you, if you subscribe, you'll find something that you like. Now back to the video. Well, we got a lot of things figured out so far. I mean, we know what size boat we need, what type, what we're going to be using for, how much we're going to spend on it. But now, which boat supports that kind of stuff that you want to do and need? Well, that depends on the brand and the type of boat you selected. For me, I have multiple brands to choose from Nitro to Phoenix to Triton to Skeeter to Bass Cat. There's a lot of different bass boat brands out there. And there's probably more than I could probably even name in a day. So there's tons of different bass boats out there for me to choose from. So you have to spend some careful time and look at the features that you want. I want, certain storage compartments. I want certain features as far as electronics availabilities. I want a certain outboard. All those kind of things you kind of need to weigh in together and see is how much you can fit into one package. Now for me right now, Nitro is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a 19 to a 21 Nitro Z21. It has the package that I like. It has talons, it has Humminbird Solixes, it has a Minn Kota Ultrex at the front. It kind of has all the features that I'm looking for. Now, what features are you looking for may not exactly exist out there in a package. I'm lucky and I have a package that I like and I kind of know where to find it. So some of this stuff you may have to piecemeal together yourself. Maybe you like Lowrance fish finders, but you like the Garmin Force trolling motor. However that works for you, you may have to be willing to do a little bit of work to make all the pieces fit together. You may find the perfect boat and all it's missing is power poles. Well, power poles really, in my opinion, aren't really that hard to install. If you're somewhat mechanically inclined and have a few wrenches, you should be able to do it. So if you're willing to do that kind of work, you can save yourself some money. So maybe you considered this earlier in the video, but new versus used, this is really where your budget can make a big difference. You got a really big budget, you can go new. You got a smaller budget, you're probably gonna have to go used. But if you're wanting something newer and you're not worried about whether it's brand new or not, or if it still has a warranty, you can still make a pretty good deal on what originally was probably a $70,000 to $80,000 boat. You can get it down in the 50s. So moving from new to used can save you a lot of money. So just to give you guys an example, if I built the Nitro boat that I wanted with the Pro Package stuff on it, it would cost me right now $70,000 to $75,000. They changed their Pro Package and it doesn't include the stuff that I want anymore. So I would have to do that route to buy it new. And I really don't want to do that when I can buy a pretty solid used one from anywhere from $50,000 to $55,000. That's anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 worth of savings on a boat that's maybe 2 to 3 years old. And let's be reasonable, people who are selling their boat after 3 years really probably didn't use it that much and they just want to get rid of it. One bit of warning, if the further you go into the used market, the older boat that you buy, the more likely it's going to have problems and the more likely you're going to have to do some work on it. Whether you're willing to send it to the shop, which nowadays sending it to the shop could be a 2 or 3 month adventure, or you can do it yourself and have it done maybe a few days. It all depends on whether or not you want to be willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, you may want to up your budget a little more to get something a little newer and a little more reliable. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something from it, be sure you smash the like button. But just like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.